So in this session, we will be preparing all the 4. So again, you have to go to the Google Drive, and there is a script called setup cdh hadoop cluster.txt. Okay, and if you open it, it will look like this. And so you have to take care of all these things. You have to disable the IP tables. Password authentication is already done, and you have to enable the SC Linux, and then you can you have to disable the VM.swappiness. VM swappiness for virtual memory. So for Hadoop, we are not supposed to. Let me pause. Sorry, let me mute everyone. Okay, now it is better. So we have to disable the swappiness. So you can actually use this script even for your installations. You might have to go to you might have to review the required prerequisites depending upon the distribution of Hadoop you are using. They might change between version to version and also from distribution to distribution. So you just have to go through the prerequisites. So this script is relevant for current CDH version, but I highly recommend to go through the installation guide and look at the prerequisites and take care of those things when you actually set up the installation for your production server. But for the current version, these are the things you need to do. You have to enable the password authentication. Typically, SAS will give the servers with password authentication on, so you can skip this one, skip this step. It is just optional, and then you have to disable the SC Linux. SC Linux stands for Security Enforcing Linux, and most of the, not only for Hadoop, for most of the software products, we typically disable it. By default, it will be enabled, but we typically disable it. I'm not going into details about what is SC Linux and all. I'm also not very familiar with it, but you have to disable it to install not only for Hadoop, for many other software products. You just have to go through prerequisites, and if it says you have to disable it. And as I mentioned to you, VM.swappiness stands for using the virtual memory. By default, it is 60, I think, which means 60% of the memory can be swapped into swap space or virtual memory. If you make it 0, that means you will be disabling it. So you have to execute this script to actually disable VM.swappiness. Again, it is just a prerequisite which you need to follow. You need not give a serious thought about it. And for now, just remember or make a checklist that when you want to install Hadoop, you have to disable swappiness. Okay, and then we have to enable SSH between the master node and the child nodes. So in our case, the master node, you will understand more in detail what is master and slave later. But for now, just understand that in the spreadsheet which I have assigned to you, where is that? It's here. Then there are multiple ways where you can install Cloudera version. Yum is standard way of installing software products using Linux. Okay, so you need not be expert in Yum, but you should know the relevance of it. You can use Yum to, so if you don't have access to internet, you have to configure a Yum server, or you have to have a local repository on all the nodes in the cluster, and you should, and then when you actually start installing it, the product is actually Cloudera product is smart enough to install from the local repositories. So it's just Yum automates a lot of installation process, and either you can use Yum to directly download and install from internet, or you can configure a Yum server and you can point to those servers and start downloading the files from the servers and then install the product. or you can pre-create repositories on all the nodes in the cluster, and then you can use local repositories for the installation. So first you need to understand the difference between download and the install. So M automates and give you flexibility to for download as well as install using multiple approaches. One is to download from internet and install locally. Second one is to download from a repository server and install locally on all the nodes in the cluster. And the third is pre-download to all the nodes in the cluster and just install using the local repositories. So it separates the download and the installation piece and give you a little bit flexibility in that. So as long as you understand YAML conceptually, it is good enough. And then again, when you start installing the relevant version, as part of the documentation, we will provide certain information, which I will show you when I get there. And you can follow those instructions and you will be able to configure as per your requirements and limitations. Okay, so this script is already in Google Drive. Again, the location is Hadoop Admin Planning Noticing 2014-12 scripts. So this is the location. Okay, and there is I will rename it properly. For now, it is I have to clean it up a little bit, and then I will rename it properly, and then you can use it as reference for your stuff. Okay, so you have to open it, and first make sure you log into your respective nodes. Everyone just log into your respective nodes. Admins, support team, they have to just watch and. If anyone pings in chat, please help them if it can be sorted out as part of the chat. Otherwise, I will help them to resolve the issue. Okay, just monitor the chat and make sure if you get any questions from the people, one of the support guys can respond to that. Okay, so I'm logging into my node, which is now it's sync CDH 500. Okay, and password is Hadoop 20. So you guys, I will give few seconds. Make sure everyone log into this, and then we will start executing the script. Okay, you need not worry about renaming the host and also add groups and users at this time. We will.
Durga.
Yeah.
This is Umesh. I got permission denied.
Which node have you tried?
13.
So okay, can you ping it first? Are you able to ping the node?
Yes.
So are you using Hadoop 20 as password?
Yes. It didn't give me a password error. It said permission denied. Please try again.
Okay, can you share your screen?
As I said, my problem is I'm using 2 different PCs.
Okay. Yeah,
so
I think you can.
Okay, SSH command what I had given is SSH -I _/.tcq.
Yeah, it's not you. That's what. Follow me now, okay?
Okay.
I think you didn't run the command properly. The command is this one. SSH no -I nothing. If I have to use password, then only you have to give. In this case, I am using password login, so I don't need to pass the key.
Okay.
Okay, just SSH root at whatever host he was. Okay, I hope everyone can log in. Okay, so next open the script, and what I'm trying to say is actually you can even do this. You can add group, the second add groups and users. So the command is group add Hadoop. So we are trying to create a group called Hadoop, and then we are creating a user called HD user, and we are associating the group to user Hadoop, Hadoop group to HD user, and also we are giving another group called wheel to HD user. So HD user will be the one which will be using actually to set up the Cloudera, and we have to add him to sudoers, and this is how we can add to sudoers. Okay, Kranti. Can you run this one? Ping novi sync CDH503.
So you're asking me, Ume?
No, it is for Kranti.
Oh, okay. I was able to log into 513.
Okay, cool. Kranti, can you ping? Okay. So your FC host file is messed up. So can you ping some other node? Instead of 503, try this one. Okay, I'm making you presenter. And I'm stopping sharing. You can share your screen and make me presenter. Kanti.
Okay, just a minute.
Okay. And actually, you are already in the host. So if you see staying root at IP0018, it is not showing your computer name. So you are under 503. Yeah. You are already under 503. So you are good. You don't need to worry.
Okay.
Yeah. So change role to presenter. And let me start sharing my screen. And let me make sure that I'm able to record. Yeah, it is recording. So we are good. Okay. Now, what I am trying to say is you have to run this command. What this command will do is it will create a group called Hadoop. It will create a user called HD user, and the group will group Hadoop will be assigned to HD user. And then I'm also assigning a default group called wheel to HD user, and then I'm enabling sudo for wheel, so that anyone who is assigned to wheel can sudo to root and can able to access the cluster with access the node with root privileges. Okay. Well, before running this command, if you are curious of what is going on, I will highly recommend to run this command. If you are curious, if you know all these things, then no need to worry. So what you have to do is you can do cat etc sudo. Okay, and when I do cat etc sudo, if you see the %wheel and %wheel is commented out. And this is how we ensure that users can sudo to root. So either you have to add user or group to here, or wheel is the default group which is created as part of the Red Hat installation. You can enable sudo access to wheel, and as part of the command. As part of the command, we are associating HD user, which will be just created, to wheel. So HD user will be able to sudo to wheel. Okay. So go ahead and run this command first. I am also running. You also run this. Just copy paste. For Mac guys, it is Command C and Command V to copy and paste. Or you can right click and copy and paste. Okay, once you run this command, type ID and you will see type ID and HD user. ID, HD user is the command. If you type this, you will see the details that there is a user called HD user, there is a group called Hadoop, and then the groups for HD user, the primary group is Hadoop, and then there is wheel group also associated with him. Let me copy and paste this command in the chat. Okay. So once you are done with this, you can now we have to enable sudo access to wheel. So you can run this Perl command. It's a simple Perl command which will read this etc sudo file which I have cached earlier, and it will uncomment the entries associated with the wheel, which are commented out. So if there is a hash as the first character in the line in Linux, then it is a comment in most of the files. So we are just uncommenting it. So this is a simple Perl script which will take care of that. Instead of opening the file and uncomment it and then save, you can run this Perl PIE command and S is for string, and then you can give whatever string that needs to be replaced, and you can give whatever string that needs to be replaced with, and G for globally. Okay, so you can copy this and you can paste it. Okay, and one more thing you need to take care is you have to change the password. I didn't add that here. I think it's password HD user. Okay, you can type that HD user, and you can give Hadoop 20. So let's keep it simple. We will give Hadoop 20 as username and password. So you are actually defining password for HD user. So from now onwards, either you can log in as root or HD user to this cluster, but HD user already have sudo access, so he can actually sudo to root once he logs in. Okay, if everyone have done this, I will just give few seconds and then I will we will validate whether the setup is proper or not. So now type exit. You come out of it. You are on your PC. Okay. Now click up arrow. You will go to the previous command on your PC. Previous command is what you try to log in. Go back and delete root with HD user. If you want, you can type like this: SSH HD user at novi sync cdh 500. Okay, now it will ask you the password. Hadoop 20 is the password which we have created, and we are in to the host as HD user. Now, typically this is how you will log into the cluster. You will not directly get the password for the root. Now you can do sudo su minus root, and you are root user now, and it will display here. In some cases, depending upon the profiles, you might not see this information. To validate it, you can just run ID, and it will give which user you are logged in as, or you can say who am I. Okay, this will tell you which user you are now. If it don't reflect here, then you have to use the either ID or who am I command to actually see validate that you are logged in as a right user. Okay. I hope everyone followed this, and we'll go to the next step. If I have to pause somewhere, I will give few seconds pause after each and every command. If you have any issues, just write it. Okay, now we are going into the next step. We are disabling the IP tables, means the default firewalls in Red Hat. We don't want it to get up and running, and it is pretty standard. You typically stop the IP tables and use your enterprise standard firewalls for the security purpose. Okay, So this is how you can. This service command is to start and stop all the services that are up and running at the time. Okay, IP tables by default will be installed and it will be started. You can run this command to stop. If you want to start, you can use start command, but for that it has to be registered as a service. And check config is the command which will register a particular program as a service to be up and running using the service command. So you need to understand these two commands, and it will help you a lot, not only with respect to Hadoop or IP tables. In general, to understand how process runs in Linux, it will add a lot of value. It means you will understand a lot of things if you just explore this service command and check config. Okay, I will not go into a lot of details here. To disable the IP tables, we have to do two things. First, we have to stop the IP tables. Then we have to unregister the IP tables. So this is how you unregister. So first, I don't want you to run both the commands at the same time. First, you can do this service IP tables status. I think it is not running. That is fine. If it is running, if it reports it as running, you can run service IP table stop, and it will stop the service. And then you can just copy paste. Instead of doing that, let's run config list IP tables. Yeah, IP tables is already off in this. So you need not even run. But typically in production clusters, it might not be off by default if SS missed this step. So you should validate, and and then you are supposed to stop the IP tables. Okay, so in this case, you need not run this. IP tables, as I mentioned to you earlier, it is the default firewall in Red Hat Linux. And we typically will not use default firewalls. We will go with our enterprise firewalls. We will have a firewall server or even appliance, and all the traffic will be directed through the enterprise standard firewall server. As we will be using that firewall, there is no need of this one. In our case, when you think about AWS, we are using AWS standard firewall, okay, which is security groups. So security groups is similar to firewalls, which is in AWS. As we are using firewalls here, there is no need of keeping IP tables up and running. So you can stop it and you can disable it. Okay. And once that is done, if you want to enable the passwordless login, you can run this command, which we have already done. Then you have to restart the SSHD service. Okay. Now we have to disable the SE Linux. If you want to validate, first what you have to do is you have to get this file. You can do this at a root, and it will tell you whether it is enabled or disabled. Okay. And this is the entry which you need to see. Okay. If it is enforcing, you have to change it to disabled. And it is not limited to Hadoop. For most of the systems, you have to disable it. And again, this Perl PI, I use this Perl PIE command a lot because you don't need to open the file, go there, type it, and replace it, and then save it. Instead, I use the Perl P-C command. Either you can use it, or you can open the file and you can change the SE Linux equal to enforcing to SE Linux disabled. So if you decipher this command, this inverted V stands for the first character. So if the first character starts from the first character, if it starts with SE Linux equal to enforcing, I just want to replace it to SE Linux equal to disabled, and I am giving the file name here. And you can run this, and then you can hit your up arrow twice to again catch the file, and it is disabled. So make sure it is very important for the administrator to not to rush and also validate each and every step until you at least do the similar stuff 5 or 6 times. Okay, because you can make typos if you rush and make typos, it will be very tough to troubleshoot the issues. So one of the best practice as an admin is to be very cautious, even though you are expert in scripting or editors and all. It is very, very, very important that first few runs you should go very slow, validate each and every step, and make sure everything is as expected. Then only you should go to the next step. Once you get familiar with it, that is fine. You can go fast. And now we have to disable the sloppiness. By default, it is 60. Let me check how to check the sloppiness. If anyone have idea, they can ping it in the chat. Yeah. Command. Okay. So this is the command. Thank you, Ravi. Okay, you can. I will add it to the script as well. Okay, and you can run this to see the sloppiness. I think it is already disabled. Yeah, even if there is no entry in that, I think it will take by default 60. So we have to disable it. And the way so if it does not return the value, that means it is using the default value. So to avoid that, you have to change it like this. You have to update the sysctl.conf file. You have to make an entry with vm.sloppiness. Okay. And this is just, we are trying to echo it and then redirect it to the sysctl.conf. The reason why I'm using this command is, again, I don't want to open the file. And if you follow it as we are not opening file, yeah, actually all these commands we can build a script and we can run it as a script on all the nodes in the cluster. Okay. That's why you should avoid using editors to modify these entries. You should try to use commands like this, tricks like this, so that over time you can automate all these things by putting it in a script, and you can execute it as a script. Okay, and that's it. So as we have disabled SE-Linux, we have to restart the server. So we have to restart the server, and the command is init fix. Init fix will reboot the server. Okay, again, init is Linux concept, and everyone who want to work with any admin related stuff with respect to Linux or Unix, they should be familiar with init scripts. It is very important. So you will shut down and it will reboot the server. You will come out of it immediately. So you have to wait for a few minutes, and then you have to log into the server, and then our servers will be ready for the next step. And the next step will be to enable SSH authentication between master and slave, or master and agents. And I will go through that once. Just give it a few minutes. Once it is restarted and once everyone of us able to log in, we will take care of setting up the SSH. And you setting up the SSH, you need not do anything. Only the manager need to be able to connect to the slave agents. Agents need not have to connect to the masters using SSH. So I will be taking care of all the stuff. Yeah, that is fine. That is expected because it shuts down and then reboots. So what you have to do is you have to again do the SSH to get into the again. Otherwise, you have to open your PuTTY, enter the IP address, host name, and then you have to relog in after a few minutes. That is expected. Yeah, from tomorrow and after tomorrow, I will make sure you all use Cygwin. So Cygwin will look like terminal. So okay, that's cool. So you can run this command to check the VM copy.
Hey, Durga, Cygwin is required if you have PuTTY, like PuTTY should be sufficient, right?
Why I'm asking you to get the Cygwin is if you see there is a way to execute the scripts from your PC itself. If you use PuTTY, it is little complicated. If you use Cygwin, I need not deal with Windows guys separately and Mac guys separately. Everyone, I can pass on the script and you can execute from your PC itself to copy the stuff and execute the scripts and all the things on the source. That's why I'm asking you to install Cygwin. Okay, now I'm getting into the host. Make sure you all also get to the host as HD user, and you can do sudo su to root if you want. But in this case, you can just log in as HD user. And as Manoj mentioned, you can run this cat command. And these are all system related commands. And some of the commands might work, some of the commands might not work. If the command does not work, you just have to do sudo because HD user is can sudo to root. You can just use sudo, and also you can paste the command and you can see the results. In some cases, you might get permission denied. And if you are a sudo, you can use sudo and run the command, and you can see the results. Okay, so swappiness is 0, and it is mandatory that swappiness is 0 on all the hosts in the cluster. So to recap, once you log in, just hit ID HD user and make sure HD user is existing, and try sudo to HD root. That HD user can sudo to root, come out of it, and look at etc SC Linux config. It should be disabled, and then check config IP tables status. Sorry, I think check config -- list IP tables. Everything should be off, and also VM swappiness as Manoj have mentioned. Okay. Now we will be using HD user to for most of the stuff. So we have to set up SSH to all the agents from master, so that if agents want to connect to master, they don't have to enter password. So behind the scenes, there can be some SSH activities that might be happening, which we might not be aware. And for that purpose, we have to enable this password-less login between master and agents. You will not be, as administrator, you need not be actually doing SSH between agent to master. It's only for using the tools if you want to do something else, and if it uses SSH behind the scenes, you have to enable SSH, otherwise it might fail or it might stuck in between. Okay. And how you have to set up SSH? You need not run this command. I will quickly run this. SSH keygen is the command, and just use defaults, and it will create a directory called you can run ls-altr, and it will create a directory called .ssh. Okay, and then on all the nodes, I have to create .ssh directory, and then let me explain you what is there in .ssh. When I run the .ssh keygen command, it will create this directory called .ssh in my home. So I am under home HD user is my home directory in this system, and then .ssh is the directory which will have the SSH related files. Okay, let me whiteboard and explain a little bit how SSH works, because there are few people who are not very familiar with Linux. It will be very quick. So let's say we have master, and then we have agents. There are 16 of them. Okay, one of the requirements is to enable passwordless login for whatever user we want to use to manage our cluster. In this case, HD user, we have to enable passwordless login from all these nodes to here for HD user. Okay. So when you actually do, there are two ways to log in. One is by using password itself. So these guys have to be aware of HD user password here. There are two caveats to that. In some cases, we do not want to share the password. And in the second case, as I have explained earlier, it will prompt the password, or it can stuck in between if you do not do the passwordless login. And this is not just related to Hadoop. Even for many other applications, you should have the passwordless login. Okay, and one of the tools to enable passwordless login, industry standard tools is SSH. Using SSH, you can enable the passwordless login. And how it will work is, you have to create a private key to which you have to create a private key on the server to which you want to enable the passwordless login. So in this case, this is the master, and we want to enable passwordless login from agents to the master. Okay, so we have to run on the master. Okay, and how do you authenticate? When you run the SSH keygen command, it will create two files, id_rsa and id_rsa pub by default. You can customize it if you want, but the default names are these ones. So this one will have private key, and the private key will be is owned by the user here. So in this case, HD user is the user. So when we run SSH keygen, the private key will be owned by this guy, and the only way that can be authenticated without password is by passing the public key to all the nodes. So it will generate both private key and public key, and they both can understand each other. Okay. So now, as it will generate the public key, you have to copy this public key to all the nodes in the cluster. Okay. And apart from copying it, you have to create something called authorized keys file, or you have to update it. Either you have to create a new one, or you have to update the existing one. And you have to copy the contents of id_rsa.pub into this authorized keys, and then this guy can SSH to the master without the password, but this public key will be passed on to him, and then the public key will be matched against the private key. And if they both can match, then only the master will let the agent to connect to him.
Hey, Durga, question here. Does this authentication need to be two ways or only one way from master to node?
It will be only one way. Once you set up, it will be only from master to slave. Yeah, it will be only from master to slave.
Okay.
Okay, so actually, I'm wrong. I have explained the other way around. So we will be typically connecting from master to slaves, not from slaves to master. So when master actually try to connect to the slaves, it will pass the private key to this, and from the authorized keys, it will get the public key for this, and then it will let the master connect to the slave. Okay, we will see, even if you do not follow completely, as long as you are aware of it. Let me mute. Okay, you will understand once we do this exercise. Okay, SSH keygen is the command, and we have already done that. And I have the instructions to copy, so we have to copy to each and every node. What I will do is, to make it simple,
Durga?
Yeah, go ahead. Who is this?
This is Chintan. After the SSH keygen command, it is asking for the passphrase, like what is that one? Did I miss any?
Yeah, you are not supposed to run this command. It's only me who is supposed to run. And
okay.
Yeah, if you have to do it yourself in a production clusters or even while practicing, you just take the defaults. You just hit enter and it will proceed.
Okay.
Okay, so I have to make sure that I give the same host names even on my master. So I'm updating the host file on my master. So even you have to either use DNS or you have to update your Etsy host to give more readable names for your host, more readable aliases for your host. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so I have created aliases for all the hosts. You can also do it. You just have to copy these two. You need not copy these entries on your nodes. Okay, but it is not mandatory. We will take care of that later also if we cannot do it now. Okay, and now I am in 15 and I have already done the SSH keygen. Let me ping it. Let me make sure it is working as expected. Okay, I have to give the IP address, not the. Okay.
Durga, just a quick tip, Durga. You can update your 15 host file with all the host names. That way you don't have to use the IP address.
Yeah, I will do that. I will do that. What?
Durga, IP address is different, I think, Durga.
No. I know what the problem is. I messed it up. I messed up the file name. Sudo cd etc. Okay, sudo su root cd etc. So this is the problem. Cat host IP Now it will work. Yeah. Yeah. So I just gave the wrong file name. So now it is working. So now let me copy the stuff. Okay. So the file name is wait, I have to do it for HT user, not. Okay, someone did not run the command. Okay, then I will use root for now, and I will fix it later.
Durga, I believe you'll have to use HD user. You have used Hadoop.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Can you go on mute? Yeah. So yeah, let me create the script real quick. It is only copying one. Copy. It's weird. Let me put it in a script real quick. pi setup dot sh. Okay, now chmod. Okay, someone did not run it, I think. So two, whoever it is, they have to, even four. So you have to make sure you follow these exercises. Even if it takes time, just let me know and follow these exercises, because this will give you the hands-on expertise to build the cluster. If you don't want to do that, I will be able to take care of it very fast. If I use this setup and if I try to build the cluster, I run into some surprises. So you have to be careful. Yeah, you will be able to practice all these on lab. So we will give you the lab. So you will be able to practice all these. But at the same time, if you don't want to do it in the class and if you are feeling that you are slow, just let me know. I will just take care of, I have the support team who will be of this on your behalf. And then we will continue with the setting of the cluster. Now I have to figure out all these servers and make sure you have run all those prerequisites before I start setting up the cluster. Okay. So and let me validate that I can SSH to one of the nodes where I am able to validate my SSH is working or not. I am on master, and for 15 it worked. So I can just say hd user at novi sync cdh 515. I think it is cat etc.
That's spelling wrong.
Yeah, I got it. SSH root, sorry, hd user at it is still asking. No, actually I didn't copy the authorized keys yet. So that is why it is asking. That is fine. I just completed first step in the script. I need to execute the second step as well to copy the public key and then to make the entry into the authorized keys. Once I do that, it will work. Let me do this for 15 just to show that it is working. Then we will continue next week. Sorry, next class. Okay, I'm running the command to make sure I can access and receive the host, and then I have to give this. Okay, now it is the .ssh tree, and now I have created the. Now we will validate whether I'm able to log in without password. Now I can log in without password to 34. LS was 15, now it is 34. Okay, and you can see .ssh lsltr, and you can see the authorized keys file. So what I have done, I will explain in a moment. So this is the entry which is copied. Now if I go back to the master, go to .ssh, do lsltr, you can see id_rsa and id_rsa.pub. These two files are created when I run the SSH keygen command. And if you look at id_rsa.pub, you have this entry. Let me mute. Can everyone go on to mute? Okay. So now you can see this entry, and if you see this entry and this entry, they both match. How they are matching? Because I ran this command, which actually get the content of this file and SSH to the server where I want to copy, which is novisync cdh 515 in this case. and then I'm getting the data in the entry in this file and copying to authorized keys. So that's how this authorized keys is created. If you want to decipher, this command has 4 discrete steps. Logging into Novisync CDH15, copying the data from copying record entry like this from node 15 ID RSA pub to node 34 authorized keys, and it is coming out of it. So this simple script is doing 3 or 4 discrete operations behind the scenes. So why I'm emphasizing on all these things is, over time you should be able to automate this process. Okay, you should not be able to run each and every node like the way we are doing it. You have to have a standard script, and if someone have to add more nodes to the cluster, you just run it, and it should take care of all the prerequisites in few seconds. Okay, someone have a question? Let me see. Yeah, you can just, that is fine. Even if you leave it, it is okay. If you want to delete it, first you have to go to your home directory like this, using this command or this one. And then you can do rm -rf. Yeah, you can do, then you have to do cd.ssh, and then you have to delete rm id star. Okay, then it will delete both private and public keys. That's how you should deal with it. Okay, I will validate all the nodes in the cluster and make sure everything is in place by next class. Yeah, again, I don't think we will be doing this kind of exercise, but many times. But whenever we do this, you make sure either you execute or you ask me to take care of you on your behalf. Then I will ask my support people in my support group to take care of that on your behalf. That way I will not hit surprises. Now if I go ahead and start installing Hadoop on this cluster, there will be too many issues. So you need to understand this. I want to give you a production type of production installation type of feeling as part of this course, so that you feel you gain confident to deal with not only just Hadoop, with any tool. So it is very important to follow the labs and execute whatever I said as part of the lab.
Durga, the main purpose of creating this keygen is so that main hub can, without putting the password, can contact. So anytime we run the Hadoop system, we don't need to put every time the password. Is that correct?
No, that is not right. So
okay.
The masters and agents have to communicate with each other. Okay, and as part of operations, typically if you are not using Cloudera, you have to use command line operations to start your process and all. So there should be SSH enabled between master and the slave. So if the SSH is enabled, it will not ask you to, so from master you can control all the agents. So for example, if you use plain vanilla Hadoop installation, if you enable the SSH keys, you can stop all the nodes in the cluster only from master. You will not go to stop. From master, you can actually stop all the background process that will be running on all the slaves. You will understand the value of it when we actually go through further steps. But it is very important for you to be aware of SSH keygen. It will, even though it might not be very relevant for this course, for anything you deal with in Linux, SSH keygen is a very important tool. That's why I have included in the course, that you people are aware of it. And irrespective of whether you are using Cloudera or any other thing, you have SSH keygen in your mind to facilitate smooth maintenance of your cluster. It is not to log into individual nodes. It is to automate your process to stop all the process in one shot from one server instead of logging into individual nodes. It's for automating your maintenance tasks, not for the logins.
That makes. And another question: the master is not the same as a gateway node, right?
No, you will understand those things. There is when we actually get into Hadoop installation and all, you will understand the significance of the gateway.
Cool. Thanks, Durga.
So, any questions? So, I will take. I don't think we will lose a lot of time because of this. What I will do is I will try to fix all these issues by the next class, and in the next class, so so far we have covered agenda, Amazon Web Services, and prerequisites for Hadoop. So, in the next session, I thought of even doing MySQL installation today, but we are already close to the time. I don't want to stop in the middle. So next week we will start with setting up MySQL. You will understand the purpose of it when we go to the presentation, and then we will see the Hadoop introduction. Probably we might be able to complete these three things in the next class, and then next Sunday we will be installing the Hadoop core components. Okay, don't get excited and go through all these PPTs. They are incomplete. They are not complete yet. So they will be ready by the time by the time we start performing those tasks. Okay. So just review the material that is covered so far, and from tomorrow I will work with you guys to get the VPN set up on your laptops, so that after the next class, you will be able to use the lab to practice these things. So you are free to do anything in those, at least until you get familiar to it. And if we have to reimage, we will reimage them for you on all the 4 nodes, on all the 4 clusters. We will be giving it to you. Probably 3 clusters we will let you to play with. One cluster will be up and running all the time, day-to-day operation, but the 3 clusters will be given for you to actually practice setting up Hadoop and all those things. Okay. So
Durga, when is the next class? Wednesday?
Next class is Wednesday, 7:30 to 10:30 Eastern, or 6:30 to 9:30 Central. Okay, and send me an email. My email ID is dgadiraju@gmail.com. dgadiraju@gmail.com, and my phone number is 714-267-7985. Okay. Actually, instead of using dgadiraju, use this one, bigdata.mentor@gmail.com. If there are few people with whom I have not spoken earlier, so send me your numbers or call me at this number starting from tomorrow, and we will talk and then we will plan. Okay, and also I will give the access to this document which we will be using for support purpose, which I have shown you earlier. I don't have it in it now, so I will give access to that. Yeah, and also people who don't have WebEx invite and who don't have access to Google Drive and all, just shoot me an email. I will send you an invite and also grant you the access. Okay, and also I have sent you a group invite. Many of you are accepted, and still few people haven't accepted. So please accept to it, so that for support purpose, if you need anything, you can send an email to that. Not only our support group, but also you also can contribute to that group if anyone run into any issues. It is to collaborate between us to make the experience as smooth as possible. Okay.
Hey, Durga, one question. So you are going to shut down all the nodes in the cluster?
Yeah, I will be shutting down soon.
Okay.
Okay. Okay then. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, sir.